Hello and happy Monday. I'm Kat Kruger. My pronouns are she, her, and today I'm starting a new solo game. So for the past while, I started doing solo RPGs back on the D20 Dames channel while we were still podcasting, and since November. Uh, since the podcast ended, I've been streaming on my own and I've been playing a lot of solo RPGs. I recently branched out to do some solo other games, card games, escape room games, that sort of thing. Um, but I'm back to do a solo game. This time it is going to be a friend of mine uh, told me that there was a solo version of this game, and I love it. So it's Vaesen. It's by Free League Press. They are the same folks that do Tales from the Loop and Blade Runner, Alien, a whole bunch of really cool games. This is using the Year Zero engine, and this game is so good. I love this game. It is Nordic horror, so just be warned. I on my channel though, I try not to do anything that's beyond like PG-13, so it's not gonna get that scary, I don't think. Um, but you are looking for um, Vaesen, which are basically like monsters, and it is set. Um, it's set in that sort of. It has that feel of like gothic horror, Victorian era type of setting, um, and there's also other settings within the Vaesen world. So the original, the base game is set in like Nordic um, region, and they've also got an expansion for sort of a UK setting. And I think they have a couple other ones that I haven't checked out yet. But it is a really great game. I am very pleased that they have a solo version that I downloaded. And what I'm going to do, as I usually do, is kind of play the game the way that a new learner would play. So I'm gonna go through all the rules and everything so that you can learn to play the game while I'm creating all of this. I have played the game in one like short. It wasn't a one shot. It was several sessions. I haven't really played a lot of it the way that I have D&D. But I have always wanted to play more, and it's just, it's one of those things you're trying to find a group to play. I was going to start running this on Start Playing as well, but it just kind of got busy. So here we are. First things first is we need to create a character. So I'm hoping that anyone in chat might be able to help out, but I'm going to go through the character creation process and walk you through all the aspects of Vaesen. But I think first I'm going to open up the book, show you some pictures, and then we can go through what Vaesen actually is. So first I'm going to, hi Socialist Pie. I am going to switch my camera just so you can see the book right now. Let's see. All right. I think I'm going to turn the volume off this music for now. Here we go. All right, so this is Vaesen. I'm having difficulty showing this. Here we go. So I don't actually have a PDF. I might get a PDF copy so I can show like share screen on this, but it's really cool. I love the artwork. I believe this is one of those books where they they based the world off of the artwork. So the artwork happened first, and then they based the world around it. So it's a little awkward with my camera right now, but it's so cool. I love this artwork. All right. So I'm just gonna sort of walk through what Vaesen actually is. So like I said, it's sort of like you know, most people are familiar with Gothic horror. This is just like a Nordic setting for it. Um, and there is sort of a description of um, what Vaesen is in a nutshell. So Vaesen takes place in a mythical 19th century Scandinavia. Um, this version of Scandinavia is not historically accurate, but an alternate world where events may correspond more or less with our reality. Um, and then Vaesen, it says, throughout history, humans have shared their land with Vaesen, trolls, ghosts, lindworms, and other creatures inhabiting the woods and lakes. Um, like the humans, these have had their ups and downs with one another. Many have assisted the farmers in their backbreaking labor and made the dark winter nights more bearable, with enchanted music and gifts in the form of strange handicrafts to blacksmiths and lute players. Although Vaesen have always been present, few have actually seen them. And then it goes on to sort of explain, the site, and the character that you play in Vaesen is somebody who has what's called the sight. You are a person with a sight, meaning that you have the ability to see Vaesen even when they are trying to remain invisible. You acquired the sight as a result of some physical or psychological trauma, most likely some form of supernatural event, either during childhood or as an adult. Those who have the sight are sometimes referred to as Thursday's children. And there's this, let me see if I can, there's a poem here that they made for the book, and it's called Thursday's Children. Monday's child is fair of face, Tuesday's child is full of grace, Wednesday's child is full of woe, Thursday's child has far to go, Friday's child is loving and giving, Saturday's child works hard for a living, and the child that is born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay. So this book is really cool because it does have like these little in-world bits of lore and poetry. I really love it. So, like I said, this is it is Nordic horror, but because it's on my channel, it's not going to be, I'm never going to be describing anything in gruesome detail. It's going to be scary, but not gory. Yeah, the the character I played in the one game that I played before, she was an occultist, and there's some really like some dark themes. You have secrets that you have to put on your character sheet. So I will put a content warning out here that there could be some dark things for that character. My content warning would have been like I guess domestic abuse and um, child death. I think. I don't think this character is going to be that dark though. We'll figure it out along the way, and then I will make sure that when I start playing next week, I will have some content warnings. Um, let's see. All right. So I'm going to go over the 6 principles of Vaesen here. So Vaesen is governed by 6 principles that can be drawn on for inspiration or used to define the benchmark for how the world should be portrayed and how its people and creatures ought to behave. These principles are: 1. Vaesen are neither good nor evil. The creatures encountered by the player characters have their own daily lives, their own dreams and plans. Some are cooperating with human locals, others are mischievous or downright murderous. Um, Whatever the case, they always have a motive for their actions. 2. Nature is dark and dangerous. The player characters have their homes and headquarters in the city. That is where they feel most safe. Nature represents the unknown, the other, the different, and anything can happen in the dark woods and lonely mountains. No one will find you if you go missing. 3. Scandinavia is changing. The old Scandinavia is being swept away by industrialization, and signs of this often violent shift are everywhere. Abandoned farms, paupers roaming the streets, and confused Vaesen seeking their place in the new world of factories and steam engines. 4. Knowledge and cunning are the keys to success. The mysteries of Vaesen can rarely be solved with violence, which is, I think, another reason why I love this game. Instead, you must use your abilities to study clues, contextualize the information you discover, and convince humans and Vaesen to share their secrets. 5. The journey is part of the goal. The mysteries are not merely problems to be solved or overcome. Their whole point is to pull the players and the player characters into the story that emerges during the course of the game. Another important focus is each player's character's journey from naive and untrained youngster to seasoned and experienced and likely scarred veteran. 6. You will not survive without each other. The player characters will face creatures the mere sight of which can drive a person mad, and beasts that can kill a man with a single blow. The only way to survive is to stick together. The player characters' relationship with each other and with important NPCs are crucial, both to the story and for the healing injuries that are sustained and for healing injuries that are sustained during the game. So it's going to be interesting because one of the things I really enjoy about Vaesen character creation is that there's this back and forth that you go through to make connections with other player characters, and so from the get-go you have a very strong connection to the other people at the table and their characters, and I really enjoyed that process. Obviously, it's going to be really different with the solo play because that element is going to be missing, but I don't know how that's made up, if it's, if I'm creating NPCs to do that, because that part of the game is something I'm learning as I play this game. So as we've got those six characteristics or principles of the game, and now it's time to create a player character. Um, so there are a few. Let me see if I can show this book a little bit better. There's a list here that shows how to create your character. So you need to choose an archetype, choose an age, choose a name, distribute attribute points according to your age, distribute points to skills and resources according to your age, choose a talent, choose a motivation, choose a trauma, choose a dark secret, choose your relationship with each of the other PCs, roll for mementos, and then choose your equipment. This is a lot more um, straightforward than D&D. Um, there's a lot of role play elements in your character sheet. There are, you know, um, attribute points and skills and resources. And as it says here in creating your character, they're age-based. So the older you are, supposedly wiser you are. But maybe not as physically fit or mobile. I can't quite remember um, how that was dealt with, but I'm going to switch over to my journal now. so that we can start looking at creating this character. I haven't thought anything about this character. Oops. Okay, so it's a very straightforward looking character sheet here. Just writing a note for myself here. Okay. So we have the character sheet here. I'm gonna just zoom in a little bit here. And the first thing is to choose an archetype. Now, I played an occultist before. She was a feisty old French lady, kind of a fortune teller, occultist, and she was a very fun character to play. But I'm going to go in here and show the different archetypes that we have here. And I guess I actually should go back to my other view so that you can see the different pieces of art for each of these. So we have here an academic. All right, then there's a little box over here that gives sort of a breakdown. Main attribute is main attribute is logic. Main skill is learning. Talents are bookworm, erudite. Knowledge is reassuring. Resources, you get 4 to 6. Equipment includes book collection or map book, writing utensils, liquor or slide rule. Next, we have a doctor. And main attribute here is logic. Main skill is medicine. Talents: army medic, chief physician, emergency medicine. Resources, you get 4 to 6, and your equipment is doctor's bag with medical equipment, liquor or fine wine. Weak horse or strong poison. Okay. So we've got academic, doctor, hunter. Your main attribute is precision. Main skills: range combat. Talents include, oh, you get, one person I played with played this character, and they had a bloodhound, which was awesome. Herbalist, and you also have marksman as a talent. 2 to 4 for resources. Your equipment is rifle, hunting knife or hunting dog, hunting trap or hunting equipment. So that's one I'm thinking about now that I remember there was a dog involved. Occultist. This is the one that I played last time. I loved her. She was so great. Main attribute, precision. Main skill is stealth. Her talents were magic tricks, medium, striking fear. Resources are a bit on the lower side, I think, 1 to 4. Equipment includes a crystal ball, powdered stag's horn. That's a special, like, sort of magic-y item, or tinderbox, dagger, or cooking pot. And so, yeah, I remember equipping a cooking pot, and it came in handy to knock out one of the NPCs that was helping out the Vaesen. Next, we have an officer. Their main attribute is precision. They've got range combat. Talents are battle hardened, gentleman, It's odd that it's so gendered. Tactician, lots of resources, 3 to 7. They have a rifle or pistol, compass or bayonet, map book or saber. Not really feeling the officer. Um, we have a priest here, probably won't be playing that either, but I'll go over it. Their main attribute is empathy, main skill, observation, talents, absolution, blessing, confessor, got 4 to 6 resources. Their equipment includes a musical instrument or fine wines, writing utensils, holy water, or old Bible. And again, with the Bible, it's a special piece of equipment that's listed on page 123. Oh, private detective. This might be one that I'm going to do. Your main attribute is logic, main skill, investigation, talents, eagle eye, elementary, focused, resource 2 to 5. And then you've got equipment, includes magnifying glass or lock picks, revolver, knuckle duster, or binoculars. A servant here. Is this the last one? No, we still have 2 more after this. So the main attribute of the servant is physique, skill is force, their talents are loyal, robust, tough as nails, resources 2 to 4. Equipment includes revolver, hurricane lamp, or makeup, field kitchen, or simple bandages. Last 2 here are, this one is a vagabond, main attribute physique, main skill manipulation, talents hobo tricks, suspicious, well-traveled, resources are pretty low, 1 to 3. Equipment includes walking stick, knife or crowbar, liquor, or pet dog. Another pet dog. Then finally we have writer. Main attribute, empathy. Main skill, inspiration. Talents, automatic writing, journalist, wordsmith. Sounds familiar. Their resources are 2 to 5. Equipment includes writing utensils and paper, camera or opera glasses, pet dog or book collection. There's a lot of pet dogs in this. I didn't realize. All right, so I'm not sure what I want to play here. Like an academic, so the solo game is, doing solo investigations of Vaesen. So um, academic does make sense for that because you're sort of trying to study the Vaesen. Hunter, originally I was thinking that, but I feel like it would kind of be in the Monster Hunter sort of vein, and maybe I don't want to do that because I want to play a character who does look at them as, not evil. Officer and priest, I don't want to play. Private detective is another one, or writer. I'm not sure. Writer sounds cool, so does private detective. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be one of those two because private detective, it makes sense, but writer is also like, you know, going out and doing these investigations and um, just sort of writing, just writing about them. She could be like a Mary Shelley type of character. Let's take a look at their motivations here. So their motivations are finding a certain Vaesen, researching a book, or revenge. Um, for the private detective, it's getting away from my family, uncovering the truth, or thrill seeking. Oops. I think I'm gonna. I'm so torn. I'm either going to play like a lady Sherlock Holmes type of character or, I don't know, like a Mary Shelley type of character for a writer. Check out their equipment. Yeah. All right. So the private detective has magnifying glass or lockpicks, revolver, knuckle duster, or binoculars, whereas the writer has writing utensils and paper, camera or opera glasses, pet dog, or book collection. I think maybe for a solo game, private detective might be better. Because of the more useful equipment, I guess, having lockpicks, and then either maybe a knuckle duster or binoculars. I'm not sure. I think maybe the private detective might be better. In terms of survivability. All right, I think it's gonna be private detective. All right. Here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna open this up a bit more, zoom in, and I'm gonna put in here private detective. All right. And then the next thing we need to fill out is choose an age. Okay, so there is a chart over here that tells us about age. So in the game, uh, there are 3 age groups, young, middle-aged, and old. Pick one and note your choice on your character sheet. Your age will affect your attributes and skills. Hello, Jane. You've come just in time because I think right after age, we're going to pick a name for the character that I'll be playing. Just decided to play private investigator character because their equipment is a little bit better than a writer character. So Vaesen is a Nordic horror set in like 19th century um, alt version of Scandinavia. Um, so there is going to be a little bit of horror, but you know me, it's not going to be gruesome or gory. Um, and and yeah, so we're picking an age. I basically want this to be like Lady Sherlock Holmes type of character. Um, so for the age groups, we've got for young, you're between 17 to 25 years old. Um, you get 15 attribute points and 10 skill points. And attributes are physique, precision, logic, and empathy. Skills are your acquired knowledge, training, and experience. So I guess it's sort of like your attributes are higher when you're younger, but your skill points are lower. And then as you age, your attribute points lower, but your skill points increase. Um, so I'm thinking maybe I'm going to be a middle-aged, um, somewhere in the middle, because I'll get 14 attribute points and 12 skill points. And maybe I will make her like, let's say 45. Middle-aged. 45. Middle-aged. All right. Yeah, I think so. Now we have to choose a name. So feel free to come out with some names. We've got some examples here. Got Anders, Felicia, Gabriella, Henrik, Samuel, Stina. Last name Bagold, Jarv, Makinen. Gabriella. We can also come up with other names though. I like the idea of like playing off of a Sherlock Holmes type of name, like maybe I will go onto the internet. Enola. I haven't watched that, or I think it's based on books too. I haven't read the books. Name. I'm gonna look up some Scandinavian names here. Let's see. Feminine and oh, Astrid. I like that name so much. I think I'm gonna go with Astrid because I've always loved that name. Astrid. And then we need a last name. I wonder if there's something that sounds like what's home. Actually, surname. Okay, I'm just gonna see if there is Solheim. Solheim means home. Oh, Hansen, I like that too. And Astrid Hansen. Let's go with that. All right, so we have Astrid Hansen. She is 45 years old. She is a private detective. So next we pick, oh, we have to distribute the attribute points according to your age. Okay, so I have 14 attribute points, and they have to go over here in the top corner of the page here. So let me just look up attributes here. Okay, so we've got, they're listed here, physique, precision, logic, and empathy. Physique is a measure of how big and strong you are. Precision is a measure of your coordination and motor skills. Logic, I think, is probably going to be um, um, the highest one, and then empathy. So logic, I feel like she's probably not like physically super strong. Each attribute has a value between 2 and 5, and that determines the number of dice you roll when attempting things that depend on the attribute in question. Okay, so the minimum value is 2, and I have 14. Okay, the maximum value is 4, except for the main attribute of your chosen archetype. So for private detective, I can go up to 5 for logic here, so I'm going to put that in there just as a start. Oops. So that means I have 9 attribute points left. Now, do we want precision or empathy next? Coordination and motor skills, or empathy. Empathy represents your ability to understand other people and to persuade, charm, or trick them. Empathy can also help you tackle certain scary situations. I think that might be our next. Yeah, I agree. So I put 4 there. That would leave 5. So I could put 3 in precision and 2 in physique. I think that's right. Yeah. All right. Sympathize with someone, real men, and declare them guilty. Exactly. Isn't that what Columbo usually does? One last question. Distribute your points to skills and resources according to your age. So for my skill points, we've got 12 skill points. Skills. Skills represent acquired knowledge, training, and experience. There are 12 skills, all of them described in chapter 3, but we're not going to go there yet. We're just going to go over here. So on the bottom right, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay. It's a lot of. Okay. Each skill has a value between 0 and 5. The value determines the number of dice you add. You may spend a number of points determined by your age. At the start of the game, you cannot have more than 2 in any skill except for the main skills of your chosen archetype, which you may spend 3 points on. Okay, so I'm going to look at main skill is investigation, so we definitely want to put 3 there. Okay. And that leaves 9 skill points to distribute elsewhere. So, I think observation should probably be another one that's really high. So I'm going to put 2 there. So we've got 5 points used, which leaves us with 7 points left here. We might want to put maybe some stealth in here. I feel like, even though this is not going to be fantastic, I don't know, like close combat and force is probably not, like, I don't feel like we've got a character that's necessarily that brawny to be able um, to manage that. So I might put 0 in close combat and force. Okay. 0, 0. What else? Now, are we going to give our detective a revolver? Because if so, I would think that we'd want range combat in here. I wonder what vigilance means. I'm gonna have to look that up. What page were all these described again? 1 moment. I think it was chapter 3. Okay, so the skills. Agility is your ability to run fast, be flexible, leap out of danger. Close combat, melee weapons. Force is brute strength. Medicine, help someone who is hurt. range combat, ranged weapons or explosives, stealth. I think it's obvious. Sneak, hide, pick locks. I think sneak. That should be one that we have. Stealth, precision. So I might put maybe a 2 there. 1 here. So that's 3, 6, 8. I have 4 more points to use. And we have investigation, which is straightforward. Learning is a measure of your education as well as your ability to establish connections through logic and knowledge. That seems like a Sherlock Holmes type of thing, so I'm going to put a 2 there. What does that leave us with? 6, 8, 10. We have 2 more points to spend. One moment here. Vigilance, to notice someone sneaking up on you. Inspiration is the ability to address a crowd, encourage and guide your friends, or create or understand works of art. Manipulation is to influence how other people think. And then observation. When talking to another person or spending time in her presence, you can use observation to understand what she's thinking, feeling, or planning. So this is more like insight. I might reduce observation to a 1. Vigilance seems like a good one to have. All right, so we've got, and agility, I think. Run fast, be flexible, and leap out of danger. Might be a good one. So we've got 3, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm going to put 1 in agility, which means got 0 for some of these here. All right, so we have zeros for close combat, force, medicine, inspiration, and manipulation. I'm wondering if maybe we need to think about medicine. I might reduce one of the 2s to a 1 so that we can get medicine up to a 1. Do we want to reduce stealth? Stealth again is sneak, hide, or pick locks. Seems like we need that though. Learning logic is measure of your education. Feels like that's another Sherlock one. Vigilance is notice someone sneaking up on you. I think that's where I'm going to take 1 point. I'm going to put 1 point in medicine and then 1 point in vigilance. And now I think we have a pretty good Sherlock type character here. All right. What else do I need to do next? Distribute your points to skills and resources according to what are the resources that we have here? Resources. So it's 2 to 5. Hold on. Does that mean I have to use some of the points? Distribute points to skills and resources. Oh, I think I need to remove some. Oh, okay. So your resource value indicates how much capital you have at your disposal. A higher value means that you enjoy a nicer home and lifestyle and have easier access to things you need. The table on the next page shows the meaning of different values. In-game events that affect your living standard will change the value. Normally, you start out with the lower value for your archetype. However, this can be raised by spending skill points. Each point raises resources by 1 step, although your starting value cannot exceed what is indicated in the archetype. Resources can only be raised with skill points before you start playing. Once the game has begun, you can only increase resources by purchasing talents. Okay, so I'm going to go take a look at this. All right, so I feel like, so the detective here, it's 2 to 5, okay. However, I don't think that Astrid is on the poorer side. So 2 is poor and is you live very simply. 3 is struggling. You have a humble home and a fixed income. No money for savings, but you can dress your family in special occasions. 4 is financially stable. So if I wanted to raise Astrid up to a 3, I would need to reduce something. So I think I'm going to reduce stealth to a 2, from a 2 to a 1, just so we can get resources up to 3, which is struggling. Here we go. Then need to choose a talent. All right, so talents are tricks, traits, and abilities that can benefit you in various situations. Talents are described in Chapter 4. Your archetype offers 3 starting talents to choose from when creating your player character. As you gain experience points, you can get more talents. You may then choose freely among them, including talents from other archetypes. Okay, so we're going to go to Chapter 4. And I will describe what these talents are. All right. Private detective's talents. Here we go. So we have Eagle Eye. You gain +2 to vigilance when trying to interpret a situation you are not involved in. Elementary. Once per session, you can ask the game master to explain how clues are connected. I feel like that's probably not going to work out in a solo game. So we're, as much as I would love to have elementary as a talent, I think can't do that for the solo game. Focused is ignore penalties from conditions when making investigation tests. I think focused is a probably good one because conditions they cause problems. It's either that or I could take my extra I could add 2 vigilance, which would allow me to move my 1 vigilant point to our resources and allow Astrid to have more resources available. I need to find that resource table again. One moment. So she would be in financially stable. You own your own home and have a job that provides a steady income. Most likely you have some money stashed away. Occasionally you may treat yourself to some sweets, a trip, or a beautiful object. In times of a crisis, there are people to lend you money. Trying to interpret a situation you are not involved in. I don't know if that's really, I think I'm going to go with focused. I feel like focused is going to give us more survivability, I guess. All right, talents. So I'm going to put focused here. All right. I'm just going to leave a note for myself here to refer to page 53. I need to remember what that is. Okay. I might take a pause here. I didn't realize that, didn't think that it was going to take this long to create a character, but we're about, we just finished 6 out of 12, so that's about the halfway mark anyway. So I'm going to take a quick break here, and I will be back in probably 5 minutes to continue our character creation for Astrid Hansen, a sort of Sherlock Holmes type character for Vaesen. All right, I will be back shortly. welcome back. Welcome to Vaesen. I'm creating a character to play in a solo version of the Nordic horror game. But keep in mind that this is my channel, so it's going to be less on the gruesome side. A little bit scary, but it is. I mean, I don't think Vaesen is, you know, as it's written, is necessarily a gruesome game anyway. It's just, it's got dark themes. It is more like what you expect of a gothic horror type of setting. So I'm going to be playing a Sherlock Holmes type of character. We're building Astrid Hansen right now, and she is a private detective. She's 45. She's doing okay for herself. Um, think I think we've built a very Sherlockian type of character, Holmesian type of character, and we're moving on now to motivation. So let's see what motivation means. Explains why you are willing to risk your own life to track down and fight Vaesen. It helps you play your character. Pick one of those suggested for your archetype or come up with one yourself. All right, I'm gonna switch over to my other camera, my iPad. All right, so for the detective, let's take a look at what was offered here as a motivation. Getting away from my family, uncovering the truth, or thrill seeking. Um, oh, maybe thrill seeking. Oh, my throat. I've got like a little frog in my throat. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with thrill seeking. Exactly. You're in your 40s, need something new. Mix it up a little. Motivation. Next, let me see if it's just newly divorced and is thrill seeking. um, Trauma. Your trauma is the event that gave you the sight. So, Jane, I don't think you were here for when I explained what the sight is. So it's um, in this world, most people do not see Vaesen, um, and um, but the people who do have something that's called the sight, and they're also known as Thursday's children. So, what is it that so it says a trauma can be a physical or mental trauma. Perhaps you witnessed something terrible or were involved in an accident. Um, the examples for the private detective are heard the cry of a myling during your search for a missing child, um, had nightmares and woke up breathless and mare-ridden, came face to face with a werewolf. I am intrigued about that first one. I don't know what a myling is. It must be a, let's see, myling face. Oof. All right, so definite content warning here for this one, for harm to children. So a myling is a murdered small child, um, but it could also mean a small child that murders. So um, I don't know. I don't know if that really ties into the thrill seeking though. Maybe the coming face to face with a werewolf one. Um, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I love werewolves anyway, so here we go. Wrote a whole trilogy of werewolf werewolf books in case anybody didn't know that. Um, and so yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Game face to face with a werewolf. All right, and then we have choose a dark secret. Your dark secret is a problem you are ashamed of and therefore keep to yourself. It may be linked to your trauma or concern, something completely different, but either way, it will actively affect the game. It makes things difficult for you. Um, dark secret. So there is a price on my head, constant adulterer, drug addict. If we're playing a Sherlock Holmes type character, I think she might have some sort of addiction. Um, I think that makes sense if we're okay with that content wise. Where do I put? Oh, dark secret is right there. Workaholic. I don't know if that's a dark secret or not. Let's see. I might just I maybe I will put uh I want to take a look at some of the other ones here. Hmm, I don't know what else. I'm looking at the other dark secrets. Stolen identity. Um, life's work is a lie. Um, I don't know. Stolen identity. Guilty of a heinous crime. My powers control me. It's also killed a defenseless enemy. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think of some other Holmesian type of things. Hmm. I wonder if there's actually more dark secrets that we can draw from. It would be nice to have like a table or something. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, maybe something. I like that. Maybe yeah, um, to calm her nerves. I wonder if there's, let's see, 19th century drug to calm nerves. Um, well, that is opium. I, that's laudanum. Is it laudanum? Just taking a look here. Oh, this makes sense because I guess it was actually invented by a Swiss alchemist. Okay, let's go with that. Yeah, Jane, it looks like that is exactly what was used. So uh, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Laudanum addict. Laudanum. All right. Yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure Sherlock Holmes had the same smoking it though. All right. Here we go. That is a dark secret. It's pretty dark. Choose your relationship with each of the other PCs. So we don't have that because this is a solo game. Um, just gonna take a look at the file that I have for the solo game, which I think I actually uploaded to my GoodNotes. Just 1 second here. Um, so it doesn't actually say in the solo rules if there are NPCs to add or PCs. Well, like, there's definitely no PCs to add. So I'm gonna skip that part for now, um, because we're not playing with anybody else. It's just us. Roll for mementos. Um, Where is the memento table? Miscellaneous talents. Yeah, this was something else I was mentioning early on, Jane. I don't think you were here for this, but like one of the things I loved about playing Vaesen with a group of people was that there were these connections um, during character creation. So you have like this, I don't know, it just felt like role playing was really um, top of mind in the development of this game and the play of this game because you are always like thinking about your relationship with the other characters because it is inherently part of your character sheet. It was really, I really enjoyed that. All right, so we've got mementos here. Roll 2 6-sided dice. I do not have my dice with me right now, so I'm going to do an online roller. Let's see, how do I roll 2d6 here? Dice. Got a 5 and a 4. All right. First one represents tens, the other ones. So 54. I have an unsigned will. All right. Memento here. Okay, and then my archetype specifies what equipment I start with. So I put in equipment over here. Equipment. Magnifying glass or lock picks. I feel like I'm going to go with lock picks. To be able to get into things. Because there's no use in having a magnifying glass if you can't get into the area where you need to magnify things. That's my rationale anyway. Oops. And then we have revolver, knuckle duster, or binoculars. Knuckle duster is not going to be great because physically she's not very strong, and I gave her ranged skill, so I think either revolver or binoculars. The revolver, even if she doesn't use it, I think is a good intimidation factor, I think. So I might do that. Okay, so The memento can use it once per session to heal 2 conditions. Explain how you use the item in question. And then your memento is part of your character. Feel free to weave it into your personality or background. It can be broken or lost during a mystery, but by spending 1 experience point, you can have it returned or repaired in time for the next mystery. You may also choose a new one, but in that case, you must first play a full mystery without a memento. Okay. Um, okay, I think that might be it. Just check more equipments here. Equipment information here. We happy with this? Should I have taken a magnifying glass instead of lockpicks? I don't know. I wonder who this unsigned will is from. I have to figure that out. All right. Well, it looks like we have a character here. Tried to make it, inspired by Sherlock Holmes. Astrid Hansen is 45, middle-aged, private detective. Her motivation for searching for Vaesen is thrill-seeking because she came face to face with a werewolf once, and she's also, I guess, like it's like this back and forth because it was thrilling, but also she's a little shaken sometimes by the experience, and that has caused her to have a laudanum addiction. Um, she also has an unsigned will. I'm not really sure how we're going to weave that into the story at this point. Good with lockpicks. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like handy to have more so than a magnifying glass. Unsigned will. Gonna have to have a think on that. But if you have an idea during the week, let me know about this unsigned will, who it might belong to. Um, Join me in Discord and just give me your thoughts. But I'll continue thinking about it. And this week, Game Design Lab and Craft Noon are still on. I don't know what we're going to design in Game Design Lab. Did a holiday last time, which was a really fun exercise. Might do a little bit more world building in the collaborative world that we're building together. Um, yeah. Again, thank you for joining this stream and for helping with character creation. I think next week we'll start the actual game, and I will walk through how to play the solo version. You're gonna learn with me because I haven't actually read the solo rules thoroughly, so we're just gonna learn as we go, and I hope you are going to enjoy it as much as I enjoy this game. It is going to be more card based, so the cards will be yes, no, maybe. I know that much. And so kind of an interesting concept for solo play, and I'm looking forward to it. There's also a journal, another great way to get like the feel of this detective, to have a journal entries. So yeah, ending a little bit early, but enjoy the rest of your week. I will put in here my Wednesday info and Friday. I'm still working on my over the garden wall craft and project. For the rest of the month, I'm going to be doing my 1 to 2 um, stream time, but it's coming along. Look at that. I think it's very, very close to done. All right. Well, Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you. Thanks. I'll see you online. All right. Take care, everyone.